This semester, I'm trying out a new grading scheme for this class, and to be honest, it really doesn't translate well to how Canvas's gradebook is set up. So I'm going to give an explanation here in hopes of making things a little bit clearer. Before I get started, however, I want to say up front that I reserve the right to change the scheme up a bit if it doesn't seem to be working how I want it to. What I mean by that is, if everyone is averaging a C+ by the numbers, but I think everyone has been doing B-level work, I'm going to tweak it so that the numbers reflect that B instead of that C+. If I ever tweak the grading scheme, it will be to benefit you, not to penalize you. There are 7 major components to the grading scheme. The case studies, which will be graded individually and then averaged together, and those are worth 20%. Then there are the editing exercises, which, like the case studies, are graded individually and then averaged together, and those are worth 10%. Then there's the OUR grant project description, which is worth 20%. The workshop reports, which are graded individually and averaged together, to be worth 10%. There's the research report, worth 25%, and the research reflection, worth 5%, and the final research presentation, worth 10%. You'll notice that there is no participation grade. That's because there's no class to come to, and I expect you to turn in all of your assignments. There will be a few assignments, however, that I didn't mention before that are pass-fail assignments. Mostly these will be drafts and smaller parts of the major research report. You won't get a number grade on these assignments, but if you failed the assignment, 5% will be deducted from your final grade. Don't get too spooked though. If you turn in the assignment and meet the basic requirements, you will pass. So the only thing that's really different from grading schemes I've used in the past is the pass-fail component. Those assignments are mostly designed to ensure that you actually turn in your drafts, and so that you're not penalized for a draft being, well, a draft. I don't want to grade a draft the same way I'd grade a final product, so essentially I'm not going to grade the draft. If you do the draft, you do it, and you get feedback from me. If you don't do it, or you don't meet the minimum requirements for the draft, you get 5% deducted from your final grade. That may sound kind of harsh, and yeah, it kind of is. That's your incentive to make sure you don't drop off the face of the earth, which can happen pretty easily in online classes. That being said, I know that students don't just stop turning things in for no reason, so I'm usually as lenient as I can be when it comes to making up missed work. If you find yourself falling behind and realize you need to catch up, contact me and let's figure out some alternate deadlines. But be forewarned, there does come a point of no return. You can't really make up, say, 4 weeks worth of work in the very last week of the semester. Throughout the course, you'll see rubrics for certain assignments, and each assignment should clearly indicate if the rubric is actually being used to assign points for that assignment, or if it's just to give you an idea of what I'm looking for and the assignment is actually pass-fail. All right, those are the basics. If you have questions, feel free to email me and ask. Also, if you're ever looking at your grade in Canvas and it doesn't seem quite right, feel free to email me to double check. I know this grading scheme might sound scary, but I promise I've designed it this way to actually help you in the long run.